Okay, hey everybody. We're going to be reviewing the Beatles' White Album, or as the title is actually The Beatles. I'm here with Bobby and Jason.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, guys. The internet goes down again.
Hope everybody's doing well.
I think. Can we all hear each other? Okay. Well,
yes, we can all hear each other.
Let me just do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Stupid internet. All right. Well, as you said, I guess I'll start. Yeah. This album was titled The Beatles, so it's a self-titled album, but it's also called the White Album.
Yes. Originally, the title was A Doll's House. So
really?
that was taken by some other group. Very good little plug there, Lance. And so they just decided to make it a plain cover and just call it The Beatles, which right now the record is there are some copies of it that are very rare because the way they pressed it is different than some other ones, and so it's a very good album.
Well, yeah, for sure. It's just there's a whole bunch of classics on it.
Yeah.
Very much so, yes.
As we discussed before, it's kind of slow, the second disc, but okay, well,
to each his own.
Yeah, it's a double album. It's the band's only double album, which I was surprised about.
Yeah, they released a bunch of compilations after the band broke up, which have been double albums, but those have just been like concerts that they've done and released on record. Yeah. So this is their only real double album. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. All right, let's see if we go down the list here. So this album was written and recorded during a time of turmoil. I can't talk. After this album was recorded after visiting Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Did I say that right?
Yes.
In India.
Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Yes.
I had pretty close. That's the fact that they went to India to basically write and record it. It's amazing.
They wanted to escape the Beatlemania type world, and India is very private, and the Maharishi was a man of peace, and so they went to Rishikesh, India, at his ashram to meditate and get some peace and quiet to write songs. Cool. Then out comes the White Album.
Yep.
Hey, whatever they gotta do. What else we got here? Alright, this album reached number 1 on the charts right upon its release, and it's also been listed at number 10 on the Rolling Stones greatest 100 or 500 albums of all time, which says something about it, even though it was recorded in a time of unrest that can what is going on in the background.
Oh, my sister's trying to cook something.
I wasn't sure if people were doing renovations up in there or something.
Yeah.
But right about the time this album was recorded, they started to brawl in the recording studio because they each wanted different things with this album, and each wanted each track to go different ways. So then they started to have turmoil, and the cracks started to form in the Beatles. Yeah. And Ringo would be on almost every track. So they would have 4 separate studios for each Beatle, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. So he would go, actually 3 from John, Paul, and George. So Ringo would go from each studio to play on each track. He would go to John's studio, then Paul's, then George's to play on each song. So it's actually Ringo's favorite album because he says they felt more like a band. And I'm pretty sure he feels that way because he was being, transported from studio to studio in Abbey Road to do each track. and it's a pretty good album.
Yeah, I mean,
so I don't blame him for feeling that way.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it just that in itself. I mean, like I said, I've been saying this all week since I've reviewed this. It's amazing, and I mean, it definitely made them feel more like a band. And even though, like, it's good for a band to have these type of albums.
Yes, I agree.
You know.
Yeah.
All right. So one more thing as far as background, a couple things here. This album the production was the first and only 24-hour recording and producing production session. And you know, I found it amazing that they went 24 hours sometimes.
Yeah, they did. They recorded one album in one whole day, all the tracks, and that was Please Please Me, and that was like 9 hours and 45 minutes. That was the very first album, and then you got this, the whole 24 hours. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Another example of why they're my favorite band.
One more thing here. Hey Jude, it wasn't intended to be included on any release, but it was recorded during the sessions of this album, and it was released as a single 3 months before this actual album dropped.
And it ended up being.
Wait a minute, Hey Jude was on this?
No,
it was recorded during the album sessions.
I was going to say I had some misprinted albums in.
And Hey Jude is actually the Beatles' most successful single that they've ever done. It's sold more copies than any other song they've ever written. And a little background on, yeah.
Hey Jude, before listening to the album, I would say it was my number one favorite Beatles song. It was Do You Know, Bobby? But
yes,
but now I don't know, and it's got some competition.
Yeah.
Get into that.
The reason it was recorded, just for a little background, the reason it was recorded during these sessions was because John Lennon and his first wife Cynthia divorced in 1968, right around the time this album was recorded and released. So Paul, being the swell person that he is, he stopped over at Cynthia's house and wrote while on the way to the house a song for Julian, their son, John and Cynthia's son, and it was originally titled Hey Jules, but to fit the song better, he changed it to Jude. So that's pretty good.
And we just gotta add the little bit of infamy this album has. For some reason, it inspired Charles Manson to go on his killing spree. For some reason.
Yeah, Helter Skelter. Yeah, he said that the Beatles, through the record, talked to him and told him to start a race riot and start killing a whole bunch of people. So Charles Manson is a job, man. He deserves to be in an asylum instead of Corcoran prison.
I think I've heard that before once. I didn't actually get that in my notes here, but wow.
Yeah, I told you that once.
Well,
yeah.
I knew that because, I'm really interested in that case. Like, how could one little guy control that many people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He even sent a telegram to the Beatles trying to reach them and talk to them, but they never responded, so.
Yeah, worked so well with the Beach Boys, too.
Right. Yeah. I forget which one of them. One of them was involved in the Manson case. And I don't know. Do you know who that was? I forget.
I have no idea.
I normally know this.
One of the Wilsons, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian's brother. I don't know. I forget who his name is, so leave your comments and let us know who it is. Yeah, yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, as far as tracks goes, do you guys want? I'll do one track, and you guys can kind of switch off.
Sure.
Okay. It's a longer album. There is about 30 tracks here.
Everybody's
So
getting
I'll
10
do the
songs.
first track. Yeah. I'll do the first track. I guess it's Back in the USSR. It's a Paul McCartney song. One of my favorite on the album, I would say. To me, this song was very raw feeling, a good punk kind of pop feel to it. Very fast paced. The vocals, the piano, it's good. And I can hear a lot of the Beach Boys that maybe influence in there. In the guitar, the shredding guitar in the middle solo is just awesome.
Yeah, the Beach Boys was influenced because, or they were influenced by the Beach Boys, because Mike Love, who was a good friend of Paul McCartney's, Paul basically told him that he was going to try and do a Beach Boys-esque sounding song, and Mike Love suggested the Ukraine girls and the whole beach vibe of the song, so that's where that came from.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could definitely hear it.
Yeah, it's a big hit in Russia because Russia was the USSR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys want to do track number 2, Lance?
Sure. Dear Prudence.
Okay.
To me, kind of folky, psychedelic, kinda. To me, it's a love song about a chick, named Prudence, and whether it might be about one of the, either about one of their daughters or mothers, and I'm guessing maybe.
I can tell you that. It's about Mia Farrow's sister, Prudence, who Mia Farrow went on the Rishikesh, India, yogi, Maharishi trip with them and meditated at the ashram. And Prudence went with, and she got all into it and started meditating every day, every second. She wouldn't even eat, I don't think. So the Beatles, in an effort to try and get her out and about, wrote the song for her to try and get her to come out and play, as the song says. And they would stand outside of her room in the ashram, because they all had rooms, and they would play the song to try and get her to come out.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know half the history you're telling me because you wouldn't tell me. So, what?
Holding out on it, aren't you?
I had to say
it's true. It's true. I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah, you didn't think about that?
I don't know. I didn't know. Interesting regardless.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, the third song here is "Glass Onion." It's a John song. The lyrics to me are the catchy part of the song. It's a very reflecting-ish kind of song. Kind of like I told you about strawberry fields, Lady Madonna. There's a Lady Madonna reference. Fool on the Hill. The club jamming beat to me maybe is there a little bit. The slow progression of how the song ends it's like kind of psychedelic at the end. I didn't necessarily expect that. Very interesting.
Yeah. The inspiration for that song, if you don't mind, was because of the infamous Paul is dead hoax. They tried to. There were people that believed that Paul McCartney had died because there was a rumor set by a radio DJ in America that Paul McCartney had died in a 1966 car crash right outside Abbey Road Studios after getting in an argument with the Beatles, and was replaced by a guy named William Campbell, and that Paul McCartney was replaced. But it's been found not to be true. They've even addressed it and said it wasn't true. And in an effort to fool more people into believing the case, because John Lennon was a man of fooling people, he threw in the Paul is dead hoax and wrote the song and made.
Speaking of murders.
Whoa!
Speaking of murders, is there one going down there?
Oh my god. Wow.
Oh, Man, is he okay?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah.
Anyway, in an effort to poke fun at the Paul is Dead hoax, John threw in a reference to the Paul is Dead hoax, and as well as a bunch of other Beatles songs. It's basically a song about other Beatles songs and about the hoax.
Interesting. I mean, I saw the, you could definitely hear the influence or the relation between the other Beatles songs, and interesting overall.
Yeah, it's very
that hoax. I make fun of you about that hoax, and Paul's not dead, but I'd like to make fun of it.
Yeah, because how many? if he was, how many albums would he have made post mortem?
Oh, he would have made a bunch.
Yeah, most successful non-living artist. Then that was the case, but it's not.
Yep, right up there with Elvis.
Oh.
But Paul is the most successful artist. He's in the Guinness. Oh, that's fine.
Is it really? Wow. All right, Lance, you want to do the fourth one?
No problem.
You mean the fifth one, right?
No, Obla Di Obla is number 4.
Yeah, ain't that the one we just got done doing?
No.
I thought we just
Glass Onion.
Okay then. I could have sworn we got the Obla Di Obla Da, but okay. To me, it's kind of a polka song. Well, the music that has kind of a polka to it. And it's about a relationship about a dude named Desmond and a chick named Molly, and, well, what can you say? Obla Di Obla Da. That's what I got from the lyrics.
Is that for real? Wow.
Yeah. Inspiration behind that was the Beatles. When Ringo got his tonsils out in 1964 while they were on tour, Ringo was replaced temporarily by a guy named Jimmy Nicol, Nichol, and Jimmy would always say, he would say, life goes on. So that was the lyric in there. That's where they got that from. And Obla Di Obla Da comes from a saying by a guy named Jimmy Scott, who was I think he was a Jamaican friend of theirs, who Paul took a friendship in. And so he wrote that about that. So it's like a whole bunch of mixture of inspirations.
Oh.
And John Lennon at the beginning of the song was high on acid, or he was high on something, and called it Paul's granny shit because he thought it was too soft, because Paul is a love songwriting guy. Yeah. So when he was high, before he was leaving the recording studio after a little tiff, he played piano and said, "This is how the song should go." So at the beginning of the song, the piano that you hear was John's piano. Paul decided to keep the piano that John played, the piano beat that he was playing. So that's what I mean.
They still did like each other at that point. So
yeah.
Wow. Interesting here. All right. Okay. The fifth song here is "Wild Honey Pie," and to me, this song is extremely strange. I don't even know what the meaning would be, especially the beginning. It makes me think of aliens. I don't know. It's very unique though, very unique sounding song. What's the meaning behind that?
Yeah. Tell us that.
Well, I believe John and Ringo were working on other White Album songs, and George was on holiday, and I think it was Grease. And Paul was in a very experimental mood, so he said, can I come up with something? And he started basically fiddling around with his guitar and multi-tracks in the control room of Abbey Road, and so he was just jamming along with himself and came along with that song.
Wow. That's like the individual element of this album for sure, because they all recorded the songs differently, had different engineers. That's what I heard. That's what I think they got from the Wikipedia. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Paul. This is an example of Paul being a genius, one of those rare geniuses in today's world, because geniuses, keep reinventing themselves. And Paul has done that through the 60s to age 70 right now. So, yeah.
Dang. All right, Lance, want to do number 6, the continuing story of Bungalow Bill?
Well, to me, kind of folky sounding. It's about a famous hunter named, Bungalow Bill. The chorus is extremely catchy. I'm thinking this is a shot at maybe somebody in the military or something, maybe.
Yeah, that song, there was a guy named Rick, R-I-C, who would always hunt tigers at the ashram in India where the Maharishi was at when they would meditate. And the guy would go off and hunt tigers. And John would feel horrible about it because he doesn't like animals being killed. So, being in the hunter mood, the hunter feel of the song was based on Rick, the guy, and he called him Bungalow Bill. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, I think you told me that before, and you can kind of, in the lyrics you can kind of tell that there's something going on, really interesting.
Yeah.
The funny part to me though, and I've told you, Bobby, this many times, is Yoko Ono is on the song, and when I first heard the song, I didn't know what she really sounded like. I don't know, and it surprised me. She can't sing.
No, she's got that screechy. She's very avant-garde, and she inspired John to branch out out of his comfort zone, which he loved because all he had known was the Beatles, and she inspired him to branch out and basically be himself, which is why, in a way, I like Yoko for that, because she inspired the love of her life to branch out and see different things.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I just can't on that song. I just can't get over the fact how bad she is at singing. And I mean, it's some people are meant to do certain things, and
that's not what she's meant to do. Even though she does still record, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
she does, and she's still touring, and she tours with her son Sean in the Plastic Ono Band. Okay. Yeah, but yeah.
While he's trying to be in the Occupy movement, which I think is hilarious.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Sean.
Yeah, him trying to be in the Occupy movement, trying to fight against the 1%, which I'm guessing he's the son of a Beatle. He has a lot of money, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would say he's got a nice little sum.
I'm like, really?
There again, their latest movement is against fracking, which I think that's all about like
something about natural gas or something,
or natural gas. Yeah. So, yeah.
Very interesting. Very. All right. I'll do the 7th song here, I guess. It's While My Guitar Gently Weeps. It's a George Harrison song. It features Eric Clapton on the lead guitar. I think is really, really cool. The lyrics are very depressing sounding. It's a classic song. I like the double vocal work in the chorus, especially. That's what it sounded like to me. As far as the meaning here, basically George was thinking about the Chinese Book of Changes, and it's an Eastern concept, and he just, that's what the song came about. It's based on based on the study. It's based on a study within that book, I think.
Yeah, the book is called the I Ching, and Harrison had challenged himself to flip through the book, any book, and pick to write a song based on 2 random words that he saw. And after he flipped through the I Ching, very briefly, the 2 words that he saw on a page was "gently weeps." So,
yeah,
there comes the track.
Yeah.
It's one of his best known songs.
Yeah, "Happiness is a Warm Gun." Melody song, and all I can say is I'm guessing it's like about a drug addict and an anti-gun, and to me it's kind of anti-gun, kind of mocking gun enthusiast maybe, or some sort of weird sex thing. I'm not sure.
That's what people have said, but
there's a couple of lines in there like, what?
Yeah,
they think it's based on sex, but according to the history, what I know through my Beatleology stuff is George Martin, their longtime producer, who has produced almost every Beatle album except Let It Be, brought in a gun magazine, which I don't know the name of, but the gun magazine, the title of the gun magazine, the headline, said "Happiness is a Warm Gun." And so they wrote a song about that.
That's just spur of the moment inspiration. That's really cool.
Yeah, somehow songs can just come to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
you got poor geniuses sitting in a room. So some songs can just come to you. That's proven fact.
All right, Lance, why don't you do number 9 as well? I'll do number 10.
All right.
The second disc now, yes?
Yes.
Side, yeah. Second side, sorry.
No, I haven't got there yet. I mean, I thought it was like that. My disc was like at 17 before it switched over.
Oh,
but yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry. Woo.
Yeah, I think he's going side by side. I don't know.
Yeah.
Side two.
Or are you going by like the Wikipedia thing for the track listing on a vinyl or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is a side 2. So
gotcha.
The vinyl. Yeah.
Martha, my dear.
Yes.
Yeah, Martha, my dear. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Old cowboy piano sound in the front to me. Mm-hmm. Basically, is a dude who falls in love with a girl named Martha, and maybe how she screwed up, maybe. And I'm guessing.
Yeah. The inspiration for that song, Paul had a dog named Martha, and he had a pony, because his wife, well, he liked horses, and his wife, who he met later, who he actually met in 1967, but they married later, liked horses too, and the horse's name was Martha too. So they're saying that either of the two was inspired by either the two animals, or it was inspired by an argument that he had with his previous girlfriend, Jane Asher, and he had titled it Martha, My Dear, just to kind of hide it and make it seem like it was about, about a dog or like a friendly type of thing. But he's just basically saying that whoever this is about, whether it be Jane Asher or the dog or the horse, that they were his primary inspiration.
It's again another real life song. Just I'm gonna write about a relationship, or I'm gonna be a fight, whatever. Really, wow. So to me, I think that some of these meanings have to be a little more complex than they are, but they're not. So that's kind of maybe why I'm
because sometimes the Beatles do make up meanings for their songs.
Bye.
And put them in the press.
Yeah, that's
my favorite one is Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is about a picture, I'm guessing one of John Lennon's kids made in school. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
They say that.
That's about LSD. I don't care what they say. That's about LSD. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Julian's friends from school named Lucy, they say had brought or Julian had fancied her and drew her and basically drew diamonds in the sky, but that's what they say. They also say it's LSD.
It's got double meaning, obviously.
Never know.
Yeah. All right. That's another conversation for another day, though.
Yeah.
The 10th track on this album, though, is one of my favorite songs on this album. Is "I'm So Tired." It's like I said, my favorite song. I wish it was longer, though. It's pretty short. I love the mellow feel to this song. It's been another spur of the moment song. It turns into a jam session between John and Paul. And I love the Paul McCartney part, especially the great vocal build-up. He gets very angry. It could be about maybe a feud that they had, or just, he's kind of maybe mad that the album is not going the way he wants it to. Whatever. Really, really interesting. Just like I said, spur of the moment.
An example of a spur of the moment would be the actual inspiration of the song being John had wrote that because he was very tired and he liked to sleep a lot.
Is that really? That has nothing to do with the production or anything of the album.
That's what I've heard on the history is that he was tired and he enjoyed sleeping a lot, and that's the history.
Wow. Who would have guessed that, man?
Who would have guessed the title of a song called "I'm Tired" would be about a guy being tired?
Well, I mean, I don't know, just the fact that Paul he seems so angry in it, and the vocal is so rough. Yeah, I don't know. Lance, do you want to do track number 11? I think you said it was one of your favorites.
Yeah, it is. Actually, this one and "Your Blues" are my two favorite songs to this album.
Okay.
And to me, it has beautiful guitar work on it. It's about a blackbird or maybe a kid leaving home.
Yeah, it's about, here's my niece Selena. It's about, say hi. The song is about Paul wrote the song about a typical black woman because it was the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King was around at the time. He was killed in April of this year before the album was released, of that year. But he wrote it about a typical black woman during the civil rights movement, basically, and women in Britain were called birds. So this is a tribute to the typical black woman dealing with the civil rights movement and, 1960s racism. Blackbird.
Okay. Man, a very it's for the times for sure, and it's definitely the meaning to it now and the inspiration still lives. I would say.
This is the song that people learn on guitar more than any other Beatles song.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I can see that because of the opening of the song, just the acoustic feel to the song in general.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Yes. All right. Let's see. Lance, just give you a couple more. Do 12?
Sure. Piggies. Folky. They're talking about costume politicians, I think.
Yeah, George had wrote the song. Bless you, babe. George had wrote the song, Piggies, about social commentary on how greedy society was during the day, and probably, they still are, because everybody's almost every politician is corrupt. And, it's all about greed, Wall Street and everything else. So that's what the song is about. George trying to speak about social commentary and greed of the nation.
This song kind of reminds me of Animal Farm. I read in high school. It has a double meaning to it.
That's what I was thinking about too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
all about.
Again, once I hear about the meaning of the song, that brings me right to that, and it can be applied to today.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'll do one of my favorite songs, 13 here, Rocky Raccoon. It's a Paul McCartney song. The song was primarily written by Paul. He was inspired while playing guitar with John Lennon and Donovan in India. I like the acoustic feel to the song, kind of country-esque. The vocals are awesome. They're there throughout this whole album, really. But especially Paul's vocals on the album are good. The harmonica feel to it, the raw feel to it. It just tells a story. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I believe like you said, Paul was just strumming along on his guitar and came up with the song in India, and had played the song when he first thought of it to Donovan and John, who had approved. And the original title was Rocky Sassoon, but in order to better fit the album and kind of make it children's-y, I think.
Yeah.
To make it like a children's album, he made it into a raccoon, like an animal. So.
Wow. Okay, so track number 14 here is Don't Pass Me By, and I know Bob, you did a video to this song, and you guys have put a link to that below and when I put this on my channel. But
yes,
for me,
my very first video on YouTube was Don't Pass Me By.
Yes. It's a Ringo song. It's Ringo's first actual solo song on the album. What's going on? The vocals, to me, this sounds interesting because of the country feel. Ringo's got a very monotone voice, but to me, it's still pretty good. It's not the best, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, Ringo was always interested in country. In fact, Ringo was taken after, I believe, there's a movie called Ringo.
Yeah.
And I believe it was taken after that. He wanted to take like a cowboy name, and he also wore rings a lot, so that's why. But his favorite cowboy Western star was Gene Autry. Mm-hmm. So he took like a Western feel that also reflected his love of rings on his fingers. And this is a song that Ringo had wrote back in 1964, but had finally revealed to the world and dusted off and recorded for the White Album in 1968, 4 years later.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Hidden talents now.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Lance, you want to do track number 15?
Why don't we do it in the road? Basically, this one's kind of self-explanatory to me. Basically, it's semi-rock tempo, and basically he wants to do it in the road. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, Paul.
Kind of key, but whatever.
You're right. Paul he saw two monkeys frolicking in the road in India while on a bus, and he was amazed at how open not only the animals are, but also Indians, and he basically wondered why Americans couldn't be as open as regular animals.
That's still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just this song to me, I love it. It's very fast paced. Lyrics are very good. To this day, why can't the American people or people in general just be free? Do what they want.
That's true.
Well, I mean, not. Yeah, obviously, it's it's not to do what they want necessarily like that.
Yeah.
You're mean. All right. Shut up. All right, track number 16. Lance, you want to do that one as well?
I will. It's about a guy who's waiting for a girl, and if she wants him to wait, he will. And he will wait forever, and basically, I'm not sure how to describe the actual instrumentation of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul, it's another argument song. Not really, but Jane Asher, his girlfriend at the time, before Linda, and, wouldn't pick up her phone and answer his calls. So he wrote a love song to her and said, if you want me to wait, I'll wait as long as I can, I will.
So very, very direct and very to the point. It was Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Let's see. Here we got track number 17, Julia. And this song is an interesting one. Lyrically, it's very simple, but it's basically meant as a tribute to John's mom, Julia Lennon, who passed away in 1958 after she was knocked down and killed by a drunken cop, an off-duty cop, and when John was 17.
You are right, sir.
Very, very. At first I didn't like it necessarily, but then after listening to it, it's just a good tribute.
Yeah, and it's also got kind of a double meaning to it, because Ocean Child means Yoko in, I think, Japanese or some language. So when you hear Ocean Child in the song, he's talking about Yoko.
Okay, yeah. Wow. All right, track number 18. Lance, you want to do it?
Yeah, Birthday. Basically, a rock and roll to me, and it's basically about partying on your birthday. At least that's what I got out of it.
A good time.
Yes, the Beatles were going to go to, I think, John or Paul's house. I think it was Paul's, to watch Jane Mansfield, the movie, what's that movie? It's a Jane Mansfield movie. The Girl Can't Help It. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And Paul wrote the song pretty fast, and after the movie, they came back to the studio and recorded it, and they say, basically for anybody whose birthday it is, and whose birthday it was on the day they recorded it.
Okay. So yeah, it has a general meaning, and very, very catchy for sure. To me, it's another version of the Happy Birthday song.
Yes.
Yeah. Version of it. Really, really interesting here. All right.
Selena, open door.
Track number 19. Lance, you want to do this as well?
Yeah. Your Blues, or I guess that's how you say that, Y-E-R.
Yes.
Very bluesy and about someone who's lonely and gonna die from loneliness. At least that's what I got from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a parody of British blues.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just it reminds me a lot of I did a review of a blues album, and Lance, you're from Memphis, so yeah, R.L. Burnside. I did that review, so if you guys are interested in that, check that out as well. But good song.
Very good
blues
song.
infused, very southern feeling, sort of.
Selena.
All right, we have 10 more left here. track number 20 is Mother Nature's Son. It's a Paul McCartney song. The acoustic feel to it, to me, is there. I like that. The calming vocals. The song was inspired by a lecture given by the Maharishi while the Beatles were in India. The same lecture also inspired Lennon's unreleased song, Child of Nature, which I guess can go hand in hand. The tune of which he later released as or for Jealous Guy in his album or song.
Yeah.
Right? Is that correct, Bobby?
He took basically, I don't know if it was the beat of John's song. What's the name of it again? I forget now.
It is
Child of Nature.
The song. Yeah.
But John basically took, I don't know if it was the beat or the lyrics, and rearranged it to be Jealous Guy, which he released in the 70s.
Okay. Yeah, so again, he's working off of what he had previously done, and very, very good. We see a lot of artists do that nowadays with a lot of, especially rap, which we all have our opinions about rap, but
Yeah.
All right. Track number 21. Everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey. It's a John Lennon song. To me, kind of a funny kind of song. A lot of pure rock influence as well on this track. It's a tribute to Yoko Ono, as John refers to her as his monkey. Very bizarre.
Yeah,
but,
because
Yeah,
well, the press. This was around the time that they were first known as a couple and first getting together. And the press was kind of criticizing Yoko for basically not being Cynthia and kind of dragging John away from the band. And John wrote the song because he felt that it's hypocrisy at best, and the press also has something to hide. Everybody's got something to hide except me and my monkey.
Yeah. Yeah, so, interesting. Yeah.
That was obvious with the Two Virgins album.
Oh, yeah.
They showed they weren't hanging.
That's true. You ever seen that cover, Jason?
No.
You never seen the cover?
I don't think so.
Well, the cover is basically the two of them, John and Yoko, naked.
Oh, I think I've seen that picture of that somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was banned. It was banned all over the place. And
Yeah.
on the back of that album, the Two Virgins album, they asked George Martin, the longtime Beatle producer, what he thought of the album, and all he said was no comment. It's pretty funny.
Okay, track number 22. You want to do that, Lance?
Sexy Sadie. Basically it's ballady about someone named Sadie who's either really sexy or a whore.
Yeah, that was about, it's a hidden message. That song is about the Maharishi after the Beatles had thought that he was trying to hit on some girls, particularly Mia Farrow, and they thought that he was a pervert and somebody that they could not trust anymore. So, to hide their bad feeling towards the Maharishi, they wrote Sexy Sadie.
Very interesting.
Which also, like you said previously, was one of the nicknames of one of the Manson followers after Charles Manson did his murders.
Yeah.
All right, here, track number 23.
Speaking of Manson murders.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Track number 20. Yes. Track number 23 here is Helter Skelter. It's a Paul song. The guitar, to me, there's a fast guitar, kind of a punky feel to it. The rough, aggressive vocals, very kind of dirty sounding raw, which was the goal of the song. The jamming feel to the song. I was surprised that this song musically sounded so good because of the band's internal fighting.
Yeah, Paul wrote that song to try and compete with Pete Townsend because Pete Townsend had wrote what was known at the time as the most raunchy and wild and crazy song by The Who. It's I Can See for Miles. So Paul wrote that and basically said, "Oh yeah, you think your song is the catchy or the most wild? I'll give you Helter Skelter." And what Helter Skelter is a wild. It's also a roller coaster in I think it's in England or somewhere. Which is, as the song describes, it goes up and then it comes on down fast. So
yeah. All right. I don't know. I mean, I do know this song is one of the, I don't know if it is one of the most covered songs that I've ever heard.
Yeah, Motley Crue did a good version of it.
They did. On their live, one of their live albums, they've done that. And,
you got the Crew, you got U2, you got everybody. Mm-hmm.
And countless other cover bands in this country.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, track number 24. Lance, you want to do that one?
Long. Pretty melody about a girl who's missing a dude who's missing his girl. I think, and he's been looking for her, and it gets kind of trippy at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The song is about, George Harrison had wrote the song as a love song, but nobody's sure if it's about one of his lovers or if it's about the Hindu god.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice double meaning there.
Yeah.
For me, this song,
Come here, Selena.
was, I like the drum and the slow vocal mix, kind of muffled, very Peter Gabriel, I believe, not Peter Gabriel, In the Air Tonight, sounding. I would describe the song as an acoustic folk song mixed with a lot of psychedelics. And just very 60s sounding. Yeah, very good song. All right.
Yeah.
Track number 25. Lance, you want to continue?
Revolution number 1. Protest Rocky. To me, it means that everybody wants a revolution, but the Beatles don't want a revolution with destruction.
Yes.
Yeah, they had written. Oh God, please, freaking out. They had written a 10-minute revolution song, but they split it up, and it was very Yoko influenced, very avant-garde. And
especially number 9.
Revolution number 9.
Which we will get to that.
John wanted. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. It's very.
To me, this song, as a lot of people know, the song Revolution that everybody knows, the rock version, that has the guitar solo and is very kind of jam out-ish, it was released as a single, which I was surprised to find out. Bob, you said something about that. I was surprised, but this song is actually a slower version of that song.
Yeah.
It's a very good song. All right. I like the use also on that song. It's a very, very relaxed it's very maybe jazz and bluesy influenced. It's a good change of pace on the album. All right. I'll do track number 20 here, or 26.
Yeah.
It's Honey Pie. It's a Paul McCartney song. I like the song's vocals, plus it's very relaxed, upbeat feel. The song pays homage to the British music hall style, which is I think awesome. Just a homage to the country where the Beatles were founded, and the music that inspired them also as well. It's a great change in style. The meaning is a famed actress called by a term of endearment, Honey Pie, who becomes famous in the United States. And her old lover who wishes for her to rejoin him in England, and he wants her back. Very interesting song.
Yes. Linda, come here. Open the door.
One of my favorites, just a very down earth song.
Yes.
All right, Lance, you want to do track number 27?
Savory Truffles. psychedelic. I'm guessing it's about getting high on some magic mushrooms or something.
No, it's a tribute to Eric Clapton's chocolate addiction. And all the chocolates are from a Macintosh box of chocolates.
Good News chocolates, yes.
Good News chocolates. Macintosh is good news. Yeah, that's right. And
yes.
Eric Clapton had loved Macintoshes. He still loves them to this day. And George wanted to poke fun at his friend and basically tell him, if you don't stop, you're going to get rotten teeth. The dentist is going to you're going to have to pull them all out. And yeah, so.
Very funny song there. Alright, track number 28 is Cry Baby Cry. I like the acoustic feel to this song, a classic Beatles song, I would say. The instrumental work is very good. The vocal work is awesome, very classic, John Lennon-ish. I don't know, it's a good song.
Come here. Nice. But yes, Cry Baby Cry, John took from an advertisement that he saw. I think it's a commercial. I don't know what for, he doesn't say. But he took it from an advertisement and he wrote it back in 1967 and introduced it for the White Album.
Okay. So again, one of those spur of the moment songs, you'd say maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Alright, Lance, you want to do track number 29? I know it's one of your favorites.
29, Revolution number 9. Trippy song about what I have no clue. I'm guessing it might have inspired Clockwork Orange, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like I said, that was the second half of the 10-minute song. I think this was like 6 minutes or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And they cut it in half, and yeah. And this is a bunch of tape loops and everything.
Number 9.
Basically
number 9.
Yeah, very psychedelic.
That was a producer or an engineer. I think it was Jeff Emmerich who did that. The number nine. But that's basically everything you can get in a recording studio, from tape loops to mixtapes. Everything mixed together, thrown into that song.
I mean, to me that song is very unique. I also, when I was looking it up, heard that Paul was deeply against it. He didn't want it.
Yeah, John wanted to release it as a single, but Paul thought it was garbage, which is right.
Yeah.
And if they had released it, it wouldn't have done very well. It probably wouldn't even, if it would have charted, it wouldn't have gone very far.
Yeah.
But this is very Yoko influenced, and gotta love Yoko for basically what John said was, after he had listened to Yoko's screeching and all of her new stuff to him at the time, he basically wanted to try something out like she did. So then out comes Revolution 9 and Revolution 1. And to fit the single, not only did they record Hey Jude, but they also recorded a Rock and Roll Revolution, which features Paul's iconic scream, which I love every time I hear it. So, yeah.
Yeah. And that was that. And I wish they would have put that version on this album. I really do.
Yeah.
You can't go back and change history now, but I'm sure if they could, they would have. And, interesting here. Alright, there's one more song here. Good Night is a Ringo Starr song. It's a lullaby, by Ringo. It features an orchestra who was conducted by George Martin, the producer for the Beatles. John Lennon gave the song to Ringo to sing to his son, as a lullaby for Lennon's 5-year-old son, Julian, at the time. It's a very calm sounding song. Usually, like I said, Ringo's vocals are very monotone still on the song, but it's a good way to finish the album.
I agree. Very soft, and Coldplay, when they were done with their concerts, they put this song on the speakers and basically say goodnight to everybody. And they go home.
Lance, what did you think of it? Good way to end?
Yeah. By saying goodnight, yeah, that's a good way, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Very good way to end it. Yeah.
Just a way to say, we're done, and there you go. All right, so Lance and Bob, what do you think overall?
I gotta go 6.5 out of 10. I could have used to hear Paul McCartney sing a good bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And edited the songs down a little bit. 30 songs, come on.
Yeah. Bob, what'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I think my favorite song, because I love the 60s and everything about it, except the 60s horrible racism, I like Blackbird, because that's basically a tribute to the ones who had to face the most in the 60s, would be a typical black woman.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this song, or this album, like Lance, you had said, it's a little too long. And I would like to at this time thank everyone who has watched this. It's going to be on YouTube later on. We'll probably have to split this up, but, I think it's a little too long. It's got some good tracks on it. The first disc was better than the second disc, I would say.
Yeah.
A little bit. For just various reasons. And overall, my favorite songs, I guess, are Back in the USSR, continuing the story of Bungle Bill with Yoko Ono's, her voice is pretty funny. I'm So Tired, Rock Me Back to Home, Why Don't We Just Do the Road, and Help Yourself.
Yeah. Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, that's basically it.
That's the White Album.
Closing words?
Yeah. If you have any questions, comments, email me at lancemosstv@gmail.com. Hit me up on Facebook. And please subscribe to this channel, lancemosstv@gmail.com. Jason has complete right to upload this to his channel as well.
Cool.
Very good, very good.
I always throw that in there to keep from copyright strikes.
Oh, yeah. All right. Like Lance said, please subscribe to my channel as well. I put new reviews up. And I actually have a new rapper I'm reviewing in the next couple days here by the name of Jack Gladstone. I love his work. So, you guys wait to see that. And, that's basically it. Bob, you want to say anything else?
Nope, just watch my videos and subscribe to my channel, RKM Loves HP. And you've got a lot of videos of my niece and Breaking Bad parodies and everything. Just, my main objective is just documenting a childhood, so got a lot of videos to pick from. So keep watching and keep rocking, people.
Well, we'll see y'all later. Say bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye. Peace and love in the words of Ringo Starr.